What is going on, guys? Danny Buys Homes with my boy Stefan Lopez underscore with Microflip Mafia. Today we have an awesome guy in here, our boy Alec. Say what's up, man.
What up? Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, bro, we've seen that you've been crushing it recently, and we love highlighting people in the community. So you've definitely been somebody in my own backyard too, which is awesome.
Yo.
That we've been able to connect. Oh, Danny's always got to remind me that the mic's got to be closer. So no, bro, amazing to have you on. Really appreciate you making time to be on the pod. Really awesome to have you. Are you in one of those call booths back in Austin right now?
Yeah. Check it out.
Yes. Danny was just saying how much he missed those things.
Dude,
You should get a few for the pad.
I literally just asked him, I was like, what do you think they cost?
Dude, last night we were outside. I'm like, yeah, you better hop in the podcast in one of the phone booths.
I love it. So honestly, Alec, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you, seeing you at all the events, hanging out with you. You're such a cool dude. Really just we're here to let people know about the value of microflipping. As you know, a lot of people get a bad rap for microflipping. A lot of people call it daisy chaining. And what we're trying to do is rebrand that and share the message that the way that we as micro flippers and as those in the Astro community, this is a real efficient way to make money. But, you know, we're here to let you tell your story. So how long ago was it that you actually got started in Astro flipping and you really got involved in the community?
So got started in Astro flipping back in, I want to say like middle of 2020. So it was like right around like peak, like COVID, like, that's when I first joined Astro flipping, and but didn't get. So I learned what wholesaling was probably less than a year prior to that. So pretty new to wholesaling and real estate in general, and then joined Astro flipping like middle of 2020. Really didn't see any traction for like a long time, to be honest. Like I think like everybody. Like it's a big struggle and a mindset thing to actually like, you know, gain momentum and figure out what actions like you should be taking. So I think that's one of the reasons why I like doing these and stuff, and what you guys do too is like help give back to those people who are like struggling to like find consistency.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So you joined Astro flipping. You discovered wholesaling like a year before that. Why'd you join Astro flipping?
Honestly, I don't know. Like
Just
we
a
didn't
funny
know
ass
what we were doing. We were just shiny objects. We saw Jamil. We loved the guy. We knew of Keegley, and we were like, let's see what this blue genie is all about. And then, but no, I did. I was looking at a few other like kind of like coaching things and things like that, and then when I jumped on I think it was like a preview for Astro flipping where Josiah kind of like walks you through like their model, and I was like, this dude's onto something. Like they have a good operation going. It seems like they know what they're doing, and they're legit. Like they're not like, you know, people out there driving Lambos, like, you know, not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just like they're not flashy. They're like, this is the business, like teach, and just straight up. So something about it, I just vibed with it, clicked, and then we joined. I say we. It was at the time. It was my dad and I. He's who kind of got me into wholesaling.
That's awesome, bro. Your dad got you into wholesaling?
Yeah.
What? I love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so we would jump on those calls with Jamil every week or whatever, or however often it was, and he would know us as like the father son kind of duo, and
that's so cool, man.
And so I'm super grateful, super blessed that you know, that I had my family, my dad. He's like very entrepreneurial and open-minded when it comes to this stuff. He knows it's legit. Like he kind of had to convince me to like try it.
Oh, you were like, this is a scam, Dad.
I was like skeptical, but I was
That's
also only
crazy.
like 21 at the time. So I was just like,
Uh-huh.
I had no prior, really any prior like sales experience or
Yeah.
people, talking to people. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was super scared to get on the phones. Like, and so that's basically like what everybody kind of talks about is like leveraging your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go out and like drive for dollars, and he would cold call the leads.
That's dope.
OG direct to seller marketing team.
Yeah,
The
that's
OGs.
until we found Astro flipping, we kind of switched it up.
Yeah.
Of course. And like that's actually what like attracted me was I remember on my sales call, they like broke down like where Keeley does all their deals and was like agents, wholesalers. And I was like, why the fuck am I doing anything else? Why am I trying to cold call
Why would
sellers?
I spend
I
money?
hate this. No, I just hate cold calling sellers. It was just
Yeah,
it was
dude.
like terrible.
I did it once.
Even door knocking. Oh my god! Like my first deal came from my dog getting out of my yard. Literally, my dog got out of my yard. Went to the cat lady's house. I get my dog. I tell the cat lady I'm looking for houses to buy. This is like the power of intention. And she goes, "There's an old lady down the street who I've sent 5 investors to, and they haven't bought her house." I'm like, "Holy shit! Let me go knock on her door." Okay, the only door knock I ever really did. Boom.
That's
20
dope.
racks. 20 racks.
Wow.
And then I took that money and was like, all right, I need to do something better. And Astro flipping was like, boom, this was the move. Dude, that's so crazy that your dad got you started. You were the skeptical one. For me, my parents were like the reverse. They're like, you got scammed. You're never getting that money back.
You know what's crazy?
Go back to college.
I never even told my parents I spent money on it until after I closed like 5 deals.
Good, bro. That's how it should be.
I told them when we were at lunch one day, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you see how much money I've made?" And they're like, "Yeah." Okay. And then they were fine.
Exactly. I think a lot of people miss that, right? Because we have that ignorant enthusiasm. We're like, oh my God, look, I've learned the secret to wealth. And you're like, you've never even done a deal. You have no idea what the fuck's happening. You're just like, yeah, I know this is the thing, and I know it's possible, but I haven't done it. So Danny's approach, probably the best approach out of all of us. I was like, yo, I'm going to go be a billionaire tomorrow. And then they're like, where's the Lambo, Stefan? Where's the billions? And I'm like, I don't know. It's coming, though. It's coming.
Dude, it's been a journey. I mean, because after I joined, like, even for me, it was still a bit of because still at the time, 2020, so I was like 22, and I was like, I was only into wholesaling like a year. So for me, I was at a place where like I didn't have that proof to show. I mean, I think I did like 2 deals my first year, and maybe 3 actually. And then that's when I found out I was having a baby. So that changed a lot for me. I was like, well, I got to figure this shit out and make it happen. So, that's when.
How old's your baby now? Like 2, 3?
Yeah, he turned 2 back in June, so he's almost 2.5 now.
Oh, that's amazing! Oh
yeah.
My gosh. Okay, and you're young. You're young, right? So you're 25 now, almost.
Yeah. Right now,
25,
as we speak,
young dad, which I love because I think I've been talking to Danny about this. This generation lacks that level of commitment, and sometimes like shit just happens.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody I talk to is like, I couldn't do that because I'm not ready. I'm like, you're never gonna be fucking ready. Like, who's ready for anything, bro? Like, sometimes you just gotta be ready. Like, you gotta get ready today. And when you found out you were having a kid, was that like a moment for you?
100%. Yeah. I was. What's crazy? I was. When the moment I found out, I linked up with another Astro student. His name's Jonathan Mays. Shout out to Jonathan Mays. He's here in Austin. And this was back in 2020 still. Probably about this time, actually. No. Okay. Halloween 2020 was the day I found out. So I went driving for dollars with Jonathan. And it was like, for some reason, we decided to go like super early. It was like maybe 7 in the morning or something like that. We were like driving for dollars. Yeah, and I'm on my way back home, and and at the time she was my girlfriend, but she called me and then she told me, and I was like, dude, all I could do was just laugh. Like
She
I
told
didn't
you
know
over phone.
yeah. On my way back home, like after driving for dollars, and like that's all I could do was just laugh, and I was just like, shit, like this is, I mean, you know, like you said, like you're never gonna be ready. I would say that's the biggest thing though, is finding someone. Like you got to have someone that you like, just really. It has to be the right person. You can't just have a baby just to have a baby. Like it's got to be with the right person. So there's that. But
I'll tell you guys a funny story. And hopefully I can send the picture. My mom sent me this picture, and it said, "Don't put your penis in crazy." And then it's got like this dude wearing this chick sweater, and it's like her face all over it. She looks psycho. And I think that's something to be said, right? Especially when we're talking about like powerful connections and partnerships. Because in business, it's honestly way less important than who your spouse is. Like I would say, like most people underestimate the power of picking the right spouse, because the right spouse can really amplify you, and at the same time the wrong spouse can really like destroy you, like on all levels. No matter how much success you have, you could lose half tomorrow if you pick the wrong person. Bill Gates lost half. Jeff Bezos lost half, and we're talking about billions. And I made a poll the other day, and it was like, who would rather be good with girls and who would rather be good at real estate? 80% of people said they would rather be good at real estate. And I said, that's why half y'all are going to lose it. That's why most of y'all are going to lose half, because like you have no idea what you're picking. Alec, it sounds like you've been freaking amazing. I've seen you and your wife now on IG. Y'all are so adorable. It's so cute. I love it. And I love seeing all of it. Honestly, it's awesome. And since that moment, you've then amplified. You did 2 deals your first year, found out you're having a baby, laughed super hard. Most people would have cried. You laughed. Okay, you maybe had some tears of joy and hysteria, and you're like, well, time to figure it out.
Yeah.
And actually, this is one of the things I've been talking about with the brand, right? DTF, down to figure it out, right? A lot of people don't do that, right? Like you have, or dare to figure it out, right? Like people need to dare to figure things out, because it's not always just like cut and dry. It's not like you make all this money and then you go have kids. It's like you just, sometimes life happens. And so since that moment, you've really like taken off.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess in a way I did sort of play it safe, but I still so what I did was, like, when I found out, I was like, I got to kind of let go of trying to control everything. So I was like, my thought process was like, gotta make it happen. I don't want to like go back to working some other random job. Like I want to stay doing something, but I need to make it consistent. So I went and worked for another wholesale company, and we did a lot of deals. I learned a lot. I learned, more in that than I did like the whole prior, like, so I would say if you're struggling to like find consistency, like don't be ashamed or whatever to go work for someone else that's already has a track record, or like has the systems and processes in place, and you can do deals and learn while you make money. And like you may not be making 100% of the deal at that point, but like, for me, I didn't even think about the money. Like it was just about like my intentions working with that company was just like learn as much as I can. It's an opportunity to see like how an actual wholesale business is operated. And in the meantime too, I mean, I got into fix and flips and like learned a shit ton. So I think
I feel like
run that back, right? So you found out you're having a kid. This is part of where you're like, I need a little bit more security.
Right.
Probably, right? That's what was driving this, right? Was I need a little bit more security, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
And you sought to work with a company that has consistency, leads, deals, a process, and a reputation, right? All those things that when you're brand new, you literally don't have. And I'll tell you, we're all our own worst bosses, especially when we start. We're like, we're terrible. You're
So
like,
true.
oh, you didn't fucking get up on time. All right, who cares? Like, I'm going back to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's something people really underrate too when you're getting started. I feel like it's definitely not a bad idea to join a team and see how everything works, the ins and out, everything.
Exactly.
There's so many people that are like, I just want to do this on my own. There's some people that actually really do need that guidance and they don't seek for it. And then they try it on themselves. They're like, oh, this doesn't work out. I'm just going to do something else, or they give up. When, say, if they joined a team, they might have been able to be like, okay, this is actually how this business is ran. And I'm going to learn a lot from this. And then in the future, I'll do it on my own. And it sounds like that's what you did to an extent.
Yeah. And that was the intention whenever I even had the conversation about working with someone was like, I tried this on my own, and so I had the opportunity at that point to join like a newer team, but they had a lot of the infrastructure. And so it was cool to be in that position where I could like help grow another person's business, learn a bunch. They already had all the systems and stuff in place. And it'd be kind of, I wasn't like another, it was very startup, like, which is cool. Like, but what it did was it trained whenever you put yourself in an environment where you have accountability and you have to be like, it's not like you said, just rolling out of bed and like start making calls. Like you have to get out the house and actually go somewhere at a certain time every morning and have that consistency. You sort of train your brain because I did that for like a year and a half. Like, I mean, a lot of people probably do that with their 9-to-5s or whatever, but whenever it comes to this stuff, for some reason, people take it less serious. Like they don't show up at 9 every day. They don't like do the tasks someone would do as if they were working for someone else. So
yeah,
that's super true.
So basically, it trained my brain to like treat this as a job, and it could be a blessing and a curse, but at the same time, my goal is to build a pretty, good size operation. So everyone is different, right? Like some people's goal is just to make, do one deal a month and have the freedom or whatever to do whatever they want. So yeah.
So tell us about that, bro. What is your dream? What is your goal? And how can our audience and how can we as the DTF team, like what can we do to help make these things a reality?
Well, I would say my main focus right now is to build up a wholesale company and kind of, get it to a point where it's doing pretty good. I would say like my goal is like a deal a day. Like that's what
30 deals a month. 31.
Yeah.
31.
And until I get there, then the goals will change. But like that's my goal right now.
I like that. And I like that it's not revenue focused per se.
Yeah.
It's deal focused because I remember a time, when was this? It was like 2021. Yeah, I think it was like 2021. And I literally had lost all momentum. It was crazy. I had like lost all momentum. And so I remember at a point, I literally did a deal for like no commission, like no assignment fee. It was literally $0. The buyer ended up giving me $1,000 after it.
Yep.
But I remember doing the deal just to get the momentum of doing the deal.
Yep.
And it was so crazy because the same seller then sold me a deal where I split 15K. And then the next deal he sold me, I made 60K. Nice. But because I did the first deal for $0, right?
Yep.
It gave me the momentum and the credibility with the seller to let me get more of his properties. And so I just really remember that time as like a time when I detached from the result of the dollar and I focused on the result of the deal. And then that brought me all the success I needed in that moment was that. And so when you framed it like I want to do a deal a day, powerful.
Dude, I think that's important too, because there's some people like I'll have wholesalers come to me and give me properties and I'm like, okay, well the numbers are really tight here, but I mean we might be able to sign this for no money, but we can still make the deal happen. I'd rather assign it than cancel it. Like why would I just cancel the deal when this buyer can buy it at this price? We might not make money, but we're going to get a deal done.
Yeah.
And it would kind of keep a good relationship with your buyer too, because they're like, dang, I really needed it at this price and you made it happen even though you didn't even make any money. It goes back to like what he said with the seller too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure my buyer was cool. I haven't sold him a deal since, but like my focus was like at that moment momentum, and momentum is this thing in this business that like people really like can't always get or keep, because even when you get it, sometimes it's maintaining it that's the key. Since you've kind of left and gone on your own, how long you been like on your own now? I know you had like a team, you've had business partners, and that always evolves.
Yeah, well, I wanted to add to that real quick too. Was
for
like
sure.
you mentioned, like focus on the result, but I think also just dial in the process because like the result, obviously, that's where we make money and that's where value is extracted is from the result. But really, like long term, the values in the process and the values in like recreating that process to get the result. So like,
I like that.
I think a lot of people see the deal and the check and like all that, but it's like the money's made in finding the deal and then finding how to make it obviously profitable and then recreating it. So I think that's ultimately like, in my opinion, what kind of separates, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's so saturated, like this and that, but what's going to separate you from actually, seeing any traction and feeling like it's not saturated is being just dialing in the process and being efficient and standing out. Like you just gotta stand out. Like, yeah.
No, I like it because you're right. I think at the end of the day, if your process is jacked up, you won't get the results regardless. But if you're doing the correct process that produces results, because that's the key, right? You have to know that the process does produce results in order to even know that that's the right process. But once you know it's the right process, I agree with you 100%. It's like,
Yeah,
boom,
exactly.
attach from the result. Did I do everything right? Because I'm sure we've all done deals where everything's gone right, and then like the deal still doesn't close for whatever reason, and the process was perfect. Boom, like whatever. I can let go of that because I did everything I needed to do. Now I can detach from it. Like I'm not attached to any one deal, just like I'm not attached to any one girl right now. Right now.
Yeah, and like last week, I did one that made 0 on. Like it happens.
What Alex said it here first.
Yeah.
No dollar deals, but the momentum and the relationships is everything in this business when done right.
Exactly, but that was the second deal that I did with that same agent. I did close another one with her the week prior and made some on it. So like, and then she's obviously going to bring more down the road too, and like, and then the buyer got a good deal. So like, there's
really like a win-win.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like I'm at a point like luckily I don't have to necessarily worry about like paying maybe an acquisition person or something like that, which obviously they would get compensated in that scenario, but like you got to do what you got to do. Like it just is what it is.
No, I like that. I like that a lot, man. So currently you're working towards building a wholesale operation, which we fully support. Austin is your market. San Antonio is a market. What other markets are you doing? Those two?
Yeah, I'm just focused here in Central Texas.
Got you. Okay, because I want everybody to know, like, as they're watching the pod, like, to send you opportunities, to JV with you, to squad up, which is like the essence of our business. And I remember the first deal you and I did, which is hilarious, which was a wholesaler sent me this deal. I was like, pass, because it's a 2-bed. Alex sends me the exact same deal with the marketing 3-bed. I'm like, oh my God, this is a deal. Sell the deal. And then I'm like, holy shit, I know the wholesaler. And I couldn't get a hold of Alec one morning. And at the end of the day, we all ended up making money, which is great. It was great. I was like, oh, this is a deal. But it's like little things like that where it's like one person sees value that another person missed, myself included. And we can all make money in this industry, which is like the most beautiful thing that I think our mentors, Pace and Jamil and Jerry, have all really revolutionized like this mindset shift. Because I think in real estate, what I found is people tend to be very focused on 100% of a grape rather than how do we make a bigger pie, right? And that's the mindset shift that I've really seen kind of happen as the community builds, as Astro builds, as Sub2 builds. I still see a lot of people like want 100% of the grape, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I notice more and more, especially as we build the Microflip Mafia community and we amplify like what is supposed to be happening here. Like that's really the goal, is that there's so many deals, there's so much money, there's so many transactions happening, that the more of them we can get involved in, the more of us can eat, the more of us can share in the wealth. Like I'm sure Jamil at this point isn't even like care about wholesaling other than the process. He just enjoys
Exactly.
he just enjoys the process. He doesn't even care about the money anymore. He's like, whatever. He's like, can we make 5, 10? Fun. Yeah, he's like, can I have fun, right? Can I have fun in the process with Monique and his friends and that kind of shit? Mm-hmm. And I still enjoy that. I still enjoy the process of doing the things. So I really liked that you said that, because it really brought back perspective for me, which was like, the reason we got the result in the first place is because we followed the right process.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you got to enjoy it too. That's the thing. Like, I think there's people that just want the result, but they don't enjoy the process. And then you're not going to enjoy, you're not going to stick around long enough to actually get,
No, that's one of the things Jerry has said on his videos too. He's like, if you don't actually enjoy this process, stop watching. Don't do any of this, because you're not going to be successful. If you're just trying to make a quick buck, it's not going to work out. Mm-hmm. You have to look at the long-term goals. See this as you're building a business and actually enjoy doing it. If you're just in it for the money, it's just, there's no point. Like I had someone that I was close with like a little over a year ago, and they really were like, saw how much money I was making, and they're like, oh, can you teach me how to do this? I'm like, of course. But then they were like, yeah, I really just need the money. And I'm like, if all you're focused on is the money, it's not going to work. You have to actually enjoy the process, and they didn't enjoy the process. So look, it never happened,
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like anything. There's a reason I don't go out and like do drop shipping or whatever or something like that. Like I don't enjoy that type of thing. So like, there was something about finding the thrill of like the hunt and finding a deal, negotiating it, and developing your skills around negotiating. Like there was so many things that just checked a bunch of boxes for me. And real estate is like the ultimate. I would say it's the ultimate like end game for a lot of people. For like if someone gets rich in other places, like they end up investing in real estate. And so like there was a lot of things that for me was just like, and I said this the other day, but like everybody is in real estate, whether they like it or not. Like you need a place to live. Like everyone's since we were freaking cavemen, like we needed places to live. Like, so, and then I saw another thing where like the price of rent continues to go up. Right. And like, it just makes sense. You got to invest in real estate. Like you got to be in it. Wholesaling is just, sourcing the deals is like, I would say the number one skill you could have. And that's the skill I've decided to devote a lot of time into. So,
yeah, I feel like that's one of the most important things too, is being able to source deals first, and then whatever you want to do with it after is whatever you want to do. If you want to wholesale it, flip it, keep it, you can do whatever.
I'll say this, right? So as somebody who's kind of done a lot of wholesale and then transitioned to buying more, I found that the real thing that separates wholesalers from investors, it's so fucking simple. It's crazy. It blew my mind. Okay. One is mindset, right? One, you have to be in the mindset to freaking buy real estate. That's the first thing that you have to have, right? Like you have to even want to. And anybody who wants to buy real estate that's watching this pod, okay, it's a lot of work. Okay. And I recommend that if you're the deal finder, okay, you find a good property manager. That's the one thing I recommend. Okay. Like if you want to be the deal finder, then you need to be able to find somebody who can manage and operate real estate, because it's two totally separate things in general, like mindsets, everything, dealing with tenants, toilets, bullshit. You want somebody who loves that, and it's probably not you. You love a good deal. You love hunting. You like finding the next. Once that deal's done, you're like, I need a team to operate it. That's like what I've learned really heavily. So first is that mindset to be a buyer and like be ready to operate. The second thing is raising capital. It's literally like this, right? You have the mindset to buy. You already know how to find. Now you need to be raising capital, because nobody's buying a bunch of real estate with their own money. Nobody. Whether you're getting a bank loan or whether you're buying sub 2,
Yeah.
Nobody out there is buying all. And even the people who are buying cash, bro, I find out that they have lines of credit from the bank. Like, okay, the way that they're buying cash is with other people's money, or they're starting a fund. So
Yeah.
those are the two things that I found. Like, if you know how to find deals and you want to be buying real estate, it's a mindset shift. Boom. I want to be buying real estate and I need to raise capital. Always be raising capital is like the name of the game. Even for our down to fund, right? We've discovered that finding and underwriting multifamily is a whole process. Like, it's like a whole skill set that we have to learn. You know what's not a skill set I have to learn is how to raise capital. I know how to raise capital. So now we're just gonna be raising capital for other people's deals. Right? What we want to do is shorten the learning curve in every step of the way, which is why I love micro flipping, right? There's an active deal and somebody has an active buyer, and I'm right in the middle. Bam, I made 10 racks. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, I mean, just to kind of go off that, right? Like, because I think everybody does want to own real estate at some point. And there's an interesting stat, Alec. I don't know if you know this. Do you know the percentage of Americans throughout all of history who have owned real estate? Or that have been real estate investors. Sorry, and to define real estate investor is a person who owns a piece of real estate outside of their personal residence. Do y'all know what percentage of Americans throughout all of history have owned a piece of real estate outside of their personal residence?
Not sure.
10%. I'm just guessing.
1%.
1%.
1%. Now, can you guys guess what percentage of the 1% have owned multifamily?
Probably
1%.
4% of the 1%.
What?
Okay. So that's a crazy stat, right? It's a crazy stat because it's insane to think that most people are not even invested in real estate, and we're getting to a point where real estate's going to become like so crazy unaffordable, like, and like as soon as the interest rates come back down, prices are going to continue to kind of go back up, and it's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be a whole thing, and people need to make more money, right? And so the reason that we're always teaching this because people need to understand even how this works, because this is not stuff that they teach in schools. It's not stuff that your teacher even understands, like, let alone does anything. And Alec, I think I've recently seen, like, in your wholesale business, which I definitely want to get more into, you've been doing a lot of creative finance.
a little bit more, yeah, lately, just because this market, right? Like, I mean, I think we're at a point where, I mean, like Pace talks about it all the time too, but if you don't listen to him, like, you know, interest rates were at all-time lows for a while, and like people that, you know, bought in the last couple of years, they don't have the equity they had when they bought it. Or the values aren't there what they were when they bought it. So and if they're motivated or a situation came up, life happens, like they need to sell. So I'm running into those more, you know.
And tell everybody, like, what's working for you right now, because I think the thing that really was like, yo, I really want to have you on the pod was this last month you did how many deals closed and funded? Like 5, right?
Well,
more
like September or October.
We could say both. We could talk both.
So yeah, it's been here. Let me check my pipeline.
Dang, he's got to pull up the spreadsheet. He's organized.
Well, I'm in my my CRM here. So last month I actually only had 2, but guess how much I have this month?
5.
7 have already closed, and 3 more are closing by the end of the month.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. You're averaging 6 just in these 2 months. You just averaged 6. And it's crazy because a lot of people are like, oh, I only did 2. And then like they stop doing the work. When really you're like, oh, I'm only at 2. I got to continue working even harder. Yep. And then boom, now this month you've already closed escrow on 7. We still have like a week left.
Yep.
Dude, I believe in you. I think you're going to close 10 easy.
Yeah. So this is the biggest month for me, volume wise. So stoked. But again, it's just the process. It's like I'm not. So it's just the process. Like I'm not like focusing on, you know, anything other than what's in front of me. Like, you know, focus on one thing. Find a way to leverage what your weaknesses are. Like, you know, my main focus and skill to answer your question is like is acquisitions, and I would say just focus on like, especially if, because so it's just me. Like I'm right now just a one-man show. Like, and I'm this month doing 10 deals, which is for me I would have thought that that's like, there's no way. Like there's no way.
What changed? What really changed for you though? Like to do 10 deals this month, right? And you're doing, just to clarify, you're doing all direct to agent on market?
No, off market. No direct to agent on market. And some of them, let me count. I think 2 of those are with another wholesaler.
Badass.
Yeah. So the rest are all agent deals.
Most of them off market.
All of them off market.
Amazing.
That's my favorite
off
market agent deals.
Because people don't even realize like the amount of power that agent off market has, or that they can even get deals from agents off market.
Yeah.
Right. Most people don't even realize that that's a thing. And you're over here doing 10 of these plus a couple with some wholesalers. And I don't even think we touched up on this. You yourself are actually an agent.
I am licensed, but I, you know,
don't act with agency.
No, I don't represent myself on the deals I do. I don't have any representation on the deals. Like, so I disclose on the contract that I'm licensed, but the conversation with the agent is like, hey, I'm looking to buy deals. Like, what do we got? Like, and that's the main thing is agent off market outreach. So
now let me ask you, does it help with the agents when they find out that you are licensed? Does that help in their mindset?
I think it actually like hurts.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're like, I feel like it's just a little bit of an awkward, they're like, oh, well, what do you need me for if you're an agent? Or like, and then I think if you, I don't know what it is, but for some reason I would prefer to not be licensed to have the conversation with the agent. Because then it gets it out of their mind that like this person, you know, is either just an agent or whatever. Like I don't, at the end of the day, it's like I don't care. Like I you know, it's a tool just like everything.
Yeah.
But you know.
Okay, because we're always testing that, right? Like I love when the agents are like, oh, are you licensed or do you have somebody representing you? I'm like, no. I'm like, my mom's licensed if you really want to give her 3%. But I'd rather you make all that money, or I'd rather we give it back to the seller, like whatever you want. But that's interesting. It's interesting take, right? I will say in Texas, right, MLS helps, right? That's the tool that I think most people lack. So if you guys ever need comps, I know Alex, your boy, he'll help you out with these cash deals because it's non-disclosure. And so with the agent off market, it sounds like you're having a great amount of success, which we freaking love. It's not even on market, which is freaking phenomenal. And then creative finance has been playing a huge role because of this market and the environment that we're in when it comes to interest rates. And I'll say this, right? The reason I brought up the whole agent thing is because a lot of agents aren't pivoting or they're not adapting and their mindsets are shut down. And so they're not having results. You don't have any of that. You've removed all of these beliefs. You removed any limiting thing. I think did you start off doing investments before you got licensed?
Yeah, I started off wholesaling back in 2019 and I got licensed only to go work for the wholesale company that I worked for.
Oh, okay.
That makes total sense, right? And so you coming into even agency, you're like, oh, that's just a tool. That's not my identity, as a lot of agents do. They take on this agent identity, and then it stops them from ever becoming full-time true investors. So, dude, that's dope.
No, that's the biggest thing right there. What you said is like, I don't identify as a realtor. Like I'm licensed, but I tell people I'm like, yeah, I have a license, but I'm not like a realtor. Like I'm not here to represent you. I don't do that.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Like, and even whenever like I have a buddy who his mom's moving here, and you know they're looking to buy a place, they really want to like me to help them, and I'm helping them, but it's just like it's not like I feel like
I'll give you the hack, bro. I'll give you the hack. Okay. Get the buyer rep agreement. Okay, and then find some new agent in the office and be like, yo, for 1%, you just got to show these guys around every single house they want to see. boom. And then when it comes time to put in the offer, boom, Alec put in the offer. And then homeboy, you write it up because I'm lazy. That's what I would do. That's what I do every single time. I wouldn't show no houses. I wouldn't drive nowhere. I'm doing this shit virtually. I'm like, yo, who's the newest guy in the office? I'm calling the broker. Who did you just recruit? All right, he needs 1%. I got you.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
funny.
I mean, I feel totally out of my element.
Good, bro. That's not who you are. And
It's
even
not.
when we asked you about the agent thing, you were like, it's a
Nah.
tool, bro. You're like, but that's not what I do. Don't hit me up to show you houses.
No, yeah. I've been thinking about, maybe implementing just like depending on the deal, like maybe representing myself on those to capitalize a little bit more. But typically, like you mentioned, like I'll use it as a negotiating. Like I don't have to be represented on this one. If the agent's already representing the seller, then waive the 3%, put it in their pocket, and then I get a deeper deal. Like to me, it doesn't really make a huge difference, and
it's really all the same.
Yeah.
But it's good that you have that tool and that understanding mainly, right? The understanding is where I think a lot of people lack. That agency is this tool that you can leverage, that other people can leverage, that once they have it, if they understand it to the right level, then it can amplify them as an investor. Mm-hmm. At the same time, if you go in with the mindset to just be an agent, you might just become that. Like that might be your identity. You might just represent people, and you'll never truly understand what it means to own real estate. Because a lot of I love Nathan's memes. You know Nathan, right, Harris?
Yeah.
Dude, his funny memes. He's like, broke realtors trying to explain to you how to double your money on this investment. Hilarious.
Yeah, the agent mindset, like that's a whole nother beast. Like
that's for the next pod. That's the next pod. Alec will do a whole agent mindset thing.
I mean,
I'm sure you have so much more like knowledge in it. You've been in brokerages. You've hung out with more agents. Like,
well, it's what I do every day. I talk to, that's what I love about this. Let me see. So this month. This month
I've your KPIs.
Yeah, I've been on the phone 11 hours with agents, and I've texted 3,200 agents. So like,
wow.
So like I just I talk to them every day. I understand kind of like the way they operate, and I think what it is with agents is they look at it as kind of like a job, and not, or they look at it like a career, right, and not like a business.
Definitely.
And for like something about that, just it messes with the way they look at their outlook on, like you said, the way investors look at deals is different than the way agents look at deals, the way wholesalers look at deals. Like you got to be like a chameleon. Like you got to be able to like acknowledge, if you're licensed, you have the ability to do one thing with that license. And if you're coming from a standpoint of investor, there's a bunch of different strategies. Like you can't just stick to one. Like you can stick to one and it'll work. But like I'm saying, you just got to be flexible. You got to be, open-minded.
And that's one thing I've noticed too from the agents I follow. It seems like even with these brokerages, it seems like a job, right? It seems like a job. It seems like a career. In reality, it's really people doing their own business, but they have a completely different like mindset around it, at least a good bit of them. There's some agents that do treat it as like, I know one agent, he's an absolute killer in my market. And he's like, I am building this brokerage. This is a business. I'm going crazy with this. And then there's other agents that are like, oh, just trying to pay the bills, blah, blah, blah.
One deal a year, 2 deals a year, something like that. Yeah. And that's just how a lot of people approach their business and honestly their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh man, there's a good saying. I heard it the other day. It was like, since you can't give your life more time, so give the time you have more life. And a lot of people don't do that, right? Because they're not treating this like a business. They're treating it like a job, but they only get paid when things close. So they never really view it as like, oh, I need more closings. They're just like, well, When I get one, I get one, and then I'll go drive Uber in the downtime. But that's also why, like, what I love what Jamil and everybody's doing in our community is trying to improve agent and investor relationships so that everybody can benefit, right? Because there's a lot of agents in Texas, there's a lot of agents in the US, and like they're not doing as many deals as they should be. Dude, I even called a broker one time, right? And I had made an offer sub 2. The broker's trying to explain to me, he's like, "Oh, I understand sub 2. I understand it so freaking well." And I was like, "Oh, amazing. Why aren't you buying this house sub 2?" I was like, "How many houses do you own sub 2?" "None. I buy them all cash." I'm like, I was like, okay, well, obviously you don't know anything about sub 2 other than like what you read online, obviously. And I was like, thank you so much for buying no sub 2s. It's like you left just so many more deals on the table for me. Because if you literally have that kind of cash, you'd be buying all the sub 2s right now, 3% interest rates. And I was like, you would probably be a better buyer since you're so ethical. You're so above board, right? Like that you would never default. Right. But instead, you're going to let other people take them over sub 2s. It's like, yeah. So it's like, thank you so much. But that mindset of like, oh, I know so much, but I'm not going to do it myself. Insane. I was like, boom. All right. I'll come back later when this listing expires.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, it's like they identify like a certain way, and it's just the way their perspective is set up and their mindset is set up is, they kind of limit themselves to what they're like. They have like this filter of like, if it doesn't fit this, if it doesn't go through the filter this way or look a certain way or feel a certain way,
it's
then
not
they're
right.
gonna like, they reject it. Like,
and this guy's even a cash buyer. So I'm like, oh my God, like his identity is bigger than just an agent, but smaller than full-time, whatever it takes investor, right? It's just like cash buyer, broker. Sub 2s, I know so much about those sub 2s. I spent hours researching why I shouldn't buy them. Okay, why would you waste all that time if you know you don't want to buy them? Don't waste no time. Hilarious. But brother, we love seeing your success. We love seeing what you're putting out into the community. We love seeing it. We love seeing like everybody winning and like how far you've come. Because you and I have been like seeing each other for like the last it's almost 3 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much since I got it.
You joined like right before me. And then I joined like that December, boom. And I love it. And the community is going to continue to grow. And we really want to amplify everybody that we know is doing deals, because there's a lot of people who fake it. There's a lot of people who aren't doing deals. They're saying things, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for authentic, real shit, like to put out there for the universe. And really our goal is to provide as much value. What's the best way for anybody who's watching this today to send you deals, to do business with you, to reach out to you? I'm very particular with how people reach out to me, right? So I always tell them, like, don't just be like, hey, how's business? I fucking hate that. I'm like, hey, my name is, this is what I do. I'd love to bring you some value. Please let me know how, blah, 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 blah. Do something a little bit better than just like, how's business?
I hate that message.
I'm like, I don't even respond. I don't even respond no more.
I don't either.
Just like, you get to stay in the DM graveyard, okay? I'll go back and look at it. I was like, oh, I wish they could see I read it. I wish. Then they can know.
No, I think I mean, I'm down. I love giving back, like, and when I say giving back, like just helping people who need to see some proof of concept or traction or whatever. Like that's always been one of my what would you call it, kind of it's always been like I guess like a core value of mine is like I want to provide value to people who are really like struggling to find consistency. And I want to be the person for someone that, like, whenever I was starting, there was no one for me to really like go to other than like Jamil, like, and I want to be that person for someone, especially if you're here locally in like Central Texas. But even if you're not, like, definitely reach out. Just shoot me a text. Like I don't mind at all.
I wouldn't give your number.
No,
shoot
me a text.
I'd recommend Instagram or Facebook.
No,
people be weird with the phone numbers, bro.
It's 512-456-9810.
Amazing. Alec literally did it, you guys. Despite everything we said not to do, he said, I'm gonna do it.
Well, especially if there's a way for us to do some deals, like I want to be reachable for people. So
I love it, man. No, you're gonna be a great dude. You're already a great asset to the community. Can't wait to see the kind of leader you become, both in Sub 2 and Astro. Especially now that I see you're hitting your stride on your own, seeing that you yourself know what is possible and how big I think you're gonna blow it up. Super excited, bro, and so thankful to have you on our podcast as our guest.
It. No, I appreciate the kind words, and super grateful for everything.
Yeah. Super awesome having you on, man. Guys, if you're watching, if you got deals in Austin, San Antonio, our guy Alec can definitely help you out. Reach out to him. Let's all do some deals together, guys.
Yeah. Right now it's more San Antonio.
Okay.
I've kind of doubled down there. Austin's in a weird point in the market right now where it's it's so Austin's a very high appreciation, high demand kind of type of market, and it's taken a bit of a hit. It's a smaller city compared to San Antonio, and prices are a lot higher, so there's just less buyers.
I'm gonna hit you with some deals today.
Let's go.
I got you.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. Well, we'll see you next time. I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
You have a great rest of your day.
All right. Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Get subscribed. Hit up Alec. He dropped the phone number.
Let's go.
Follow him on. What's your Instagram? Drop the Instagram
as well. It's just my first and last name, or I think my middle name or my middle initial, Alec D. Hawthorne.
Okay, so hit him up on Instagram, Facebook, but send him a text message if you want to follow his journey. Hit him up on Instagram. He needs to start posting more.
I do need to start posting more, Danny. I need some tips.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. This was a great episode, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Appreciate it, guys. Catch y'all.